So not too long ago, I posted this video on the internet and I got a lot of backlash for one reason in particular, and that was that I purchased a $180 doll and decided to repaint her lips. And I would just like to apologize to everyone who was very upset that I painted an expensive doll's face. I promise you this will happen again, and I actually will never stop doing it. Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel and happy Halloween. Today is the Halloween special, so I am in full costume for the Halloween season. You can obviously tell I have a theme going on here, and that's because in today's video I will be customizing my 1/6 scale Hot Toys baby doll figure from the movie Sucker Punch. And as I mentioned before in the intro of this video, I did want to talk about my opinion specifically on customizing expensive figures. I've had a lot of backlash in the past for doing it, and I just want to kind of have a sit down, open conversation about how I truly feel about it, because I'm not going to stop doing that. And I actually feel like everyone should be customizing their stuff, like no matter the price. So we're gonna get completely into that in today's video, so I hope you guys are excited and ready, and stay tuned because I will be completely repainting my doll's face. So before I even get into customizing this doll's face, I do want to get into some context on why I even wanted to do this in the first place. But for a while I've been wanting to collect Hot Toys specifically. There are a couple on my dream wish list that I really want. In particular, the Winter Soldier and Gandalf the Grey. Like, those are two of my ultimate grails. But I also found out that they made a baby doll Hot Toys figure, and I wanted her so bad. But the thing that was really holding me back is I actually did not like her face at all. I'm sorry. This kind of looks nothing like her. This doesn't really look like Emily Browning. I feel like it looks a lot more like Scarlett Johansson in a wig. And I'm gonna be honest, I just don't like her face. I just don't like how it looks. She looks very dead fish-like. So I ended up buying her secondhand, and I actually got her for a really good price considering the retail price. So I was excited that I did get her for a little bit of a better deal. I do have her box. She came with all of her accessories. So once I took her out of the box, I sprayed her with Mr. Super Clear, and I got her primed and prepped for her face up. Alright, so I first wrapped her head in a little napkin, and this was just to protect her hair from getting any paint on it. And before I go in with any paint, I'm going to go first with some colored pencils, and I'm going to use a deep red color just so I can map out the lining of her lips and just add some more gentle color without using the paint. I then mixed a very light pale pink that I was going to put on her lips. I later changed this up because I felt like it was a little too pale for her skin tone, but I mixed up this little paint mixture, and using the tiniest brushes I own, I went ahead and added a very thin layer to her lips. As you can see, the hue is just a little too bright for her skin tone, so after I did this, I let it dry down, and then I went in with a slightly darker wash of pink. But here you can see I'm also adding some white highlights to her eyebrows. I'm going to be getting rid of her eyebrows altogether. This is just a base so I can build on top of it. But she's going to be looking a little freaky all the way up until we get there. Here you can see I'm adding a deeper lip liner to her lips to match that kind of more rosier pink I added. But as a heads up, this is a completely trust the process kind of project. You're really going to have to trust me on this, that she does look better from here. So why should someone customize a figure to begin with? Why should someone customize an expensive figure at all, you know? And I think it's okay to admit when a toy or figure you really want is just not you know, up to your preferences, up to your standards, you know. I've mentioned that I really do want the Winter Soldier Hot Toys figure. I've always been very angry that the 2014 release version of him had plastic hair. I think plastic hair on a character with long hair is just, it just doesn't look good. I don't like it. And then they finally did give him a wig and then put him behind a huge paywall, $500. You know, I really want it, but I want it for the purpose of customizing. So I feel like more people getting in the headspace of, you know, if this is the only thing of said character that you really, really want and it's just not up to your standards, customize it. Make it up to your standards. Go and customize your favorite things. If the base is boring, add stuff to the base of that anime figure. Because I know a lot of, you know, anime figures have really boring bases. Customize it. Add things to it. Do it. I'm so serious. So many people said I had ruined my Cupid doll. You know, that's what they think that. I think she's gorgeous. I think she's stunning, beautiful, amazing. Like, she's so cute that I'm like, I can't believe that Cupid has haters, because this Cupid, this one right here, have you seen her? Have you seen her? Like, she's so cute. Like, her hair, I think she's so cute. And she's perfect for me, and that's why I love her, and I'm in love with her, and that's why she's my Cupid and not yours. That's why she's my Cupid and not your Cupid.
So now that her base is a little more dry, I'm going in and building in some layers on her eyebrows so we can completely cover them up. I went ahead and mixed a good amount of her skin tone because you will make mistakes, and having their default skin tone on hand will be really good for covering up anything that just gets too out of line. Now it's probably the hardest part, which is doing her eyes. I'm focusing first on her makeup, which means I'm going in on her inner corner highlight, as well as doing the eyeshadow underneath her eyes. I feel like this is probably one of her most signature pieces in the movie, is she has really intense eye makeup. She has a lot of eyeshadow at the very bottom of her eyes, and she has a lot in her cut crease, and I want to really exaggerate that, as well as bring in those thick lashes and everything. I want this makeup to really show up. And something I didn't like about the original was how hyper-realistic it was. I kind of want it to look a little more cartoony and almost anime-esque, so I'm adding these intentional highlights onto her lips and the inner corners of her eyes.
So when it comes to my collection in particular, I like seeing my handiwork in my collection. Now, it could just be my artist brain, but I also think this is a really good thing to do for anyone in a collection. I really love when doll customizers customize and style their dolls. I think it's really great that more anime figure collectors are starting to get into garage kits. I think there is something so beautiful and unique about a person putting a piece of themselves and their art in a collection. When you have yourself involved into a toy, I feel like all of a sudden you built a little bit of a relationship with that toy, and now every single time you do that, your collection becomes a little more personal and a little more intense. And I'm saying you have to customize your things to have that relationship with your toys, but I feel like if you want to expand your relationship with your collection, I feel like this is a great way to do it.
So now this is where she's going to look really insane, and this is really the point of no return. I am filling in her eyeballs completely because I also didn't really like how small her eyes were. I feel like she has a very doe-like doll face, and I want her eyes to be very large. So I'm going in with a base color of green since she has kind of hazel greenish eyes, and I'm going the lightest color, and I will work my way down from there. While that dries, I'm adding in her eyebrows. Here I was looking at several photos back and forth. I don't think I was able to completely replicate her face. I still felt like she looked a little bit like Scarlett Johansson. I couldn't shake that off, but I was trying really hard to implement a little bit more doll-like features into her face that made her look a little bit more soft. And the last part after I filled in her pupils was to add her lashes. Now I wanted them to look thick and fluffy like the eyelashes she has in the movie, so I added that, and then I added the highlights to her eyes, and I was feeling pretty good with where she was at. I think I was about done.
So after like 5 to 6 hours, I felt pretty good with how the repaint was going, and I pretty much just ended it there because I felt like this was as good as it was gonna get. Like, I felt pretty good with this.
Truly the last step was to fix her hair once her face had dried, and I do this by just super gluing it into place. I don't know if this is sacrilege, but this is the only way I can get doll hair to cooperate with me, so I just super glue that stuff down. I also parted her hair in the wrong direction, so we're gonna ignore that. Anyways, once that was completely dry, the last thing I did was I added some rhinestones to her skirt. This is completely unnecessary, but I just thought it would look cute, so I added that last minute.
So I let her finish dry completely, and then I went in with a glossing medium and I glossed her lips and her eyes so it had that really nice shiny effect. Like, I wanted it to look like she had real lip gloss on, and I wanted her eyes to look very natural and glossy. So now that she's done, let's go ahead and do a little close-up so we can see what she finally looks like.
Okay, here she is. This is the final results of my 1/6 scale Hot Toys baby doll, and I'm really proud of her. I think she looks so good. Although she doesn't look exactly like Emily Browning, I do think she looks significantly better than how I got her. Personally, this is more about how I envisioned her from the beginning, and this is just me fulfilling that vision. And I'm just really proud of myself. I feel like I'm getting a lot better at face-ups. She had a very small face, so I was very worried I wouldn't be able to pull this off, but she looks really good, and I took these really good photos of her on my side desk. I think these turned out so amazing. I'm just so proud. I am like genuinely very proud of myself for doing this. I'm not really known for realism, so this was a little bit harder for me, but I think she looks great, especially compared to where I think she was at before. She is perfect for me, and that's all that mattered.
Alright, looks like that is the end of the video. I hope you guys liked this one today, and if you have customized some stuff in your collection before, please let me know. How was it? What was your experience with customizing stuff within your collection? I hope you guys liked today's video. I hope you guys liked the finished product. But yeah, so that is it for today's video. I will have more stuff on my YouTube channel, so stay tuned. We have a lot of big things coming, and then I plan to open my shop in November, so make sure you guys also stay tuned for that. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!